I'm about to start crying. Like, you just left the dog. Just like, I got Elsa from a shelter. If someone came out the woodwork now and just be like, that's my dog, I'd be like, you can go fuck yourself. I've literally birthed this girl. I've had Elsa since she was 10 months. She is almost 9 years old. The fuck? Go, buddy! Hey, you guys, welcome to Kima's Never Seen It. I'm Kima, and today the movie we're going to be talking about is Air Bud. If you have never been here before, I take movie suggestions on movies I've never seen, which is basically every movie ever created, watch them, give a quick synopsis of what they're about, and then give my opinion. Will my opinion differ from yours? Probably. But if you've never seen this movie, I'm putting a big spoiler alert right here because we're about to talk about it. And now that we got that out the way, let's get into what this movie's about based on the DVD cover summary. When Josh Framm, a 12-year-old boy, finds himself in a new city with no friends, he's too shy to try out for the basketball team. However, while practicing, he meets Buddy, a runaway golden retriever who surprises him with his ability to score baskets. Josh and Buddy eventually make the school team, and the dog's extraordinary talents spark a media frenzy, one that attracts Buddy's greedy former owner who wants to cash in on the dog's notoriety. Boy and dog must keep one step ahead of the brute, while at the same time rallying their school team to the state finals. Get ready to be delighted, moved, and amazed by Air Bud, described to be a timeless Disney favorite. If you don't know, which you probably don't, I'm a huge dog lover. So this movie, listen, the person who recommended this to me, this took me on a roller coaster because I'm a huge dog lover and there was a lot of this going on. But let's get into it. So we start off with a clown and a dog. They're on their way to a kid's birthday party to go, do their job. And it looks like he's pretty mean to the dog. Like once he parks and he lets him out, he has this newspaper. And he's like threatening the dog, like, you better be good. You better listen, blah, 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 blah. And they go into the party to do all their little tricks. And let me just say, he's a terrible clown. He ends up messing up tricks. And he tries to throw the ball at the dog so that the dog can do a trick, but the dog misses it and then starts running around everywhere. And then he starts jumping and messing up the whole entire party. So safe to say he didn't get paid for that. And now, because he messed up this birthday party, he's threatening to give the dog away. So he puts the dog on the back of his truck, but he doesn't close the back of the truck of the bed. So as he's driving and calling the pound to go ahead and drop him off where they can pick him up, the cage actually slides off the truck and gets into the road. But he doesn't notice. He just keeps driving off, which I guess if he was going to give the dog to the pound anyway, he probably doesn't care. So the cage falls off into the road. A semi truck kind of avoids it. And then there's a car that hits the cage and ends up actually opening to let the dog out. And we get to see, this little kid and his mom and a little baby in the back, just like, oh my God, is everything okay? Is everything all right? And then we meet Josh, his mom, and his sister, the people who hit him. They just moved into this new house. They're in this new city. It turns out that Josh's father had passed away. And it was all in the newspaper and everything. So now it's just him, his mom, and his sister. And he, again, new city, has to go to new school, all this kind of stuff. And he's really young, so it could be pretty intimidating. Meanwhile, while Josh moved into this new house, we go back to the dog and he's over here trying to find shelter under different things and he's all dirty and wet. I'm not going to cry, but it is really sad. Now Josh is at this new school. The mom is talking to, I believe, the principal or just someone, in charge, talking about like, he is really shy and, he does like basketball and stuff, but are there any other extracurricular activities that he can get into? And Josh actually does see a basketball tryout sign up sheet and he's gonna go sign on it, but the bell rings and it scares him when he sees all the kids. So he kind of just leaves it. After school, he finds this abandoned house that has this old basketball hoop on it and he has his own basketball. So he decides to play. And when he's playing, he ends up, the ball rolls into a bush, but something returns the ball back to him. So he's just like, okay, there's either something or someone there. And when he goes to the bush, whatever's there runs away, but he finds a piece of fabric or something and he keeps it. And it's the dog's piece of fabric, if you didn't know, from that stupid ass clown suit that he has on. It's his. So the next day there's basketball tryouts and Josh does show up. Again, he has his own basketball, so he's kind of just going all the way to the top, sitting by himself. And we get a quick glimpse of who's the leader, hotshot bully of the basketball team just for a second, because he's already trying to be like, ooh, nice just trying to like heckle him. And also the basketball coach at first glance seems more win focused than he is being a team, which I understand winning is, part of the game. You want to be able to win, but he doesn't really care about the team working together, it seems. He just wants to win. He just wants the best people to win. That's it. So everyone goes to try out, and Josh doesn't. He doesn't actually get down from the bleachers. I guess he just watched the whole time. And then as he's leaving, the coach catches him. He's just like, hey, you didn't try out, but, since you're the new kid, just be our manager. That can work out for us, right? He doesn't say yes, but he's kind of appointed to do it. But Josh is okay with that. And he's just like, well, at least I'm kind of on the team. And then after school, he goes back to that spot again to go ahead and play basketball. And we see the dog again. Now, Josh has these little pudding cups. So he decides to put one on the ground so the dog can actually come out. And he does. He's licking it all up. And then Josh goes over to try to pet him. He's trying to be careful. He's trying to be slow. Good. But the dog doesn't take too kindly to it. And he runs away. So not quite there yet. But the next day, Josh decides to take a bunch of pudding cups, line them all up so that the dog can get closer. Duh, it works. It's a dog. He's gonna eat everything. And he ends up getting closer and closer and closer. And then he notices that the dog is taking a good look at his basketball. So he's moving it around. The dog is following it. And then they start to play. And now they're friends. So now Josh brings the dog home. He is going to go give him a bath. And he's just like, okay, you stay up here. My mom just got home. And he's going to try to convince her to get him to stay. So he goes downstairs. He's talking to her. But before he can actually give a good, reason to bring up the dog and keep the dog, Buddy's just like... So his mom makes him put up found dog signs over the city. But this dog is smart, and he's literally, anyone's that he could reach, he's literally ripping them down. He's just like, nope, I'm not found. I am home now. And, this is a smart dog. He just wants to stay with Josh the whole time. In the meantime, Josh is making a deal with his mom, and apparently they come up with something like, okay, if no one finds him by Christmas, we're going to see what we can do. But in the meantime, don't get comfortable with this dog. This is not your dog. Don't try to make a home for him. And she says that the dog has to stay outside. He cannot be inside at all. But again, this is a smart dog, and he does what he wants to do. He literally climbs his way up on the roof, gets into Josh's room, and then hides under the bed. He does what he wants. And they continue to play basketball, continue to, do all this kind of stuff. And they just become best friends. And it's really cute. So back at school, again, he's the manager of the basketball team. And he takes everybody's, shirts, jerseys, whatever, to go and wash downstairs. When he goes down there, he's kind of looking around and he sees that there is, something that says New York something on it. And then he's snooping around some more and he sees a shirt that says Knicks on it. So I would assume New York Knicks. But someone starts to come down. It's the maintenance guy. So he quickly just, stop, what's he doing? And he starts washing the clothes. And he talks to the maintenance guy a little bit. And the maintenance guy is just like, you don't have to take that kind of treatment from them. That's not right, blah, 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 blah. And that's it. So Josh goes home. He has this box full of sports cards with different players on them. And he has one that has a basketball player on it. And now he thinks that this basketball player is the maintenance guy who he talked to just by evidence of seeing the shirt and all that kind of stuff when he went downstairs. So he goes back to school. He's just like, hey, can you sign this card? And he takes it. He's just like, you think this is me? Because this man has been dead. So I don't know who you're thinking of. And then he just takes the card and he leaves. But at the end, it's school break. Everybody leaves the school. And Josh is staying behind and he sees this door. He looks through the door, sees this man hooping. He is doing jumps, doing all the tricks. I don't know how to play basketball, but he's doing all the basketball tricks. And it's just like, oh yeah, that was you. Why are you lying? Don't know, but that's definitely you. Now it's Christmas and Josh wakes up because he's trying to find Buddy. And then he remembers that he had until Christmas to see what's going on with this dog. He can't find him. He's not under the bed. He doesn't see him outside. And he runs downstairs and turns out they get to keep the dog. His mom wrapped him up in a bow and now he's his dog. When they get back to school, the coach says that they need new players and he decides to put some tryout papers in some kids' lockers and there's one in Josh's locker. But that little bully person, I'm not going to call him names, he's a child, but that little bully is just like, you shouldn't even try out. Don't even think about it. Don't even think about coming. So now Josh is feeling down, and he's back at that, their hoop spot with the dog. Buddy is what he's calling him now, with Buddy. And he's just not really feeling it, but Buddy makes him play. And then he throws the ball so Buddy can go get it. Buddy ends up making a basket. And then he's just like, there's no way that happened. Yep, this dog can play basketball. And for some reason, I guess that gives Josh the like will and drive to want to actually try out for the team. And he makes it on. So thanks, Buddy, because you know how to play basketball. Josh is not on the basketball team. Don't know how that correlates, but here we are. So now it's game time. Now Buddy notices Josh isn't at home. So he's just like, well, I'm going to go and find him. And this is a smart ass dog. So he literally goes all the way up to the school. While that's happening, again, there's a basketball game, and there's a kid who's not really good at holding on to the ball. Larry, who's the bully who I've been talking about, he passes the ball to him, and this kid just doesn't grab it. He can't grip the ball. He's just not good with it. And, you know, we get a glimpse of the coach. He doesn't look too happy, but, you know, that's what practice is for. Teamwork is for. And they're playing the game. Buddy sees Josh, or sees one of the kids with the ball, and decides, oh, it's time to play. So now he's running up and down the court with the ball, and he's trying to play with Josh as he has the ball, and everyone gets to see his special talent. So now after the game, someone on the booster club is just like, hey, you should bring your dog back to do that trick for the halftime show. I think it'd be really cool. And as that conversation is happening, Buddy kind of runs away. Josh follows him. They go up some stairs. They see the coach literally taking basketballs and throwing them as hard as he can at that kid who couldn't catch the ball. They all go upstairs. So it's Josh, his mom, Buddy, this woman. I guess she's the mom of I don't know. She's something with the school. And all the other kids, they see him throwing these balls at this kid. So he's fired. So when that happens and he gets fired, Josh suggests a new coach. And it turns out to be the maintenance guy that we've been talking about. And he is actually interested in them being a team, just not individuals in this fucking game. So he's telling them, you know, how to take an imaginary ball, learn how to pass to each other, pay attention to each other, all that kind of stuff, just doing fundamentals of basketball. And he was on a professional basketball team, so I think he would know what he's doing. Now, all of this is going on, and it's working out pretty well. And it's game time, but Larry, again, wants to be the star. And because he's doing that, he's actually missing shots instead of passing like he should be, he's trying to take the shot to be the number one. And coach ends up taking him out of the game. His dad gets mad, and he's just like, you're not going to take my son out. We're leaving. And they leave, and they put Josh in the game. Again, the game is going well. Everyone's passing. Everyone's doing what they need to do, being a team. But the last couple of seconds, Josh has the ball, and he's trying to decide if he should pass it or if he should make the shot. And he decides to make the shot and misses it, and they lose the game. Now, the next day, he's talking to the coach. He's just like, oh, I thought I should have made it just to like look cool or be more accepted in the school, blah, 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 blah. And coach is telling him, hey, you did it for all the wrong reasons, and that's why you didn't make the shot. Again, you have to realize we are a team, blah, 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 sports, sports, sports. And he's also teaching that other kid how to, you know, hold on to the ball and pass and all that kind of stuff. And it's working out, and it's translating to the game. So now they're on a winning streak. They're in the newspaper. Everything is going well. And also, this is very, very small. Buddy also keeps taking the family newspapers from the front of the house and keeps putting them somewhere. We don't know where, but the mom is just like, I haven't been getting newspapers for days, weeks. Can y'all fix this? It's just Buddy taking them. Now, we're going back to the clown. He's at his miserable house, and he's watching TV, and he sees Buddy on TV making his trick shot with the basketball. So now he's on his way to go and find him. He shows up at Josh's house and finds his mom. By the way, the mom found all the newspapers. Buddy ended up burying them in the ground. But he finds his mom. He's just like, oh, this is my dog. We were a team together for work, and I lost him. Do you have him? And then Josh comes up, and Buddy growls at him. But the mom ends up letting him take Buddy, even though as he's taking the dog, you can see how mean and how he would mistreat this dog. But she ends up letting him take him. And now life is empty. Back to the clown. Somehow when Josh is walking around the neighborhood, he finds the clown's car because he has like this big clown head on top of his truck, and he sees Buddy chained up, and he does everything he can to unchain him, and now he's on a goose chase with the clown and him and Buddy, and he's running away. They ended up making it away because this guy's truck is old as hell and it's literally breaking down as he's driving, and he ends up just driving into a lake while they're on this little boat thing to get to the other side. Now, this is the part that pisses me off. So Josh gets to the other side off of that boat, and he's talking to Buddy. He's just like, listen, you probably won't understand this, but if I keep you, that guy's just gonna keep coming back. So I'm gonna leave you. I'm gonna leave you over here, you defenseless dog, and I'm gonna leave and go home. What kind of sense does that make? So you're not going to keep him because you're afraid of that man coming back and trying to take him. However, you're going to leave a dog to be stranded, homeless, and by themselves where anything can happen to. I know he's a kid. But this is some dumb shit. So then he leaves Buddy. He tricks Buddy by throwing his ball or throwing something, and he gets back on that little boat and sails away back to the other side. And Buddy's trying to swim to him, but he can't make it. Now you want to cry. I'm okay. I'm gonna calm down. So back to the school. It is another basketball game. I think this is the state finals game. Turns out Larry's dad put him at another school, so now he's playing basketball on another team, and they're going up against each other, and it's intense. This team is giving them the business, but they are trying and they're doing their best. The problem is that there are kids who keep getting fouled out, and it's a lot. They're getting dunked on. 2 kids end up getting injured, and now they're down, and they don't know what they're gonna do. But you know what? Buddy shows up as he should. He's just like, Josh, you thought it was over? Ha. Now they put Buddy in the game, and he does not let up. He's helping with passing. He's helping with making shots and stuff. He's doing great. And someone fouls on Buddy and he actually gets to make his own 2 shots. I forgot what that's called. It's been a while since I followed basketball, but he makes his own 2 free throws, and he makes them because he's that dog. Now we're at the end of the game. Josh is in the same predicament he was in for that other game. We have a couple seconds left. He can either choose to pass the ball or make the game winning point, and he decides to shoot it. But I think he realized that he needed to shoot it for the team, not for himself, and he ends up making the basket. So they win the game, everything's good, they have Buddy back, but that clown is back at the game. He's just like, give me my dog, I have papers for him, that's literally my dog, and they end up going to court. The judge doesn't really want to take this case because it's just like, we have a clown, a kid, and a dog. I really don't know what's going on. This is very unusual. But the judge basically says, listen, whoever the dog decides to run over to, that's who gets to keep the dog. So let's let him make the decision. So they're on both sides, and they're just like, hey, come over here. Hey, come over here. Hey, come over here. And the clown pulls out a newspaper and is like tapping it on his hand. Buddy starts to go over there with him. And of course, I'm just like, no, please. But he ends up ripping the newspaper out of his hand, tearing it up, and then runs over to Josh. So yeah, that man was definitely abusing him and using newspapers to do it, or just all these different tactics to scare him. But he goes over to Josh. That's Josh's dog now, and they can all live happily ever after. And that's the end of the movie. This movie got a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes. Honestly, I'm not going to argue too much with that. Saying it's at 50% is saying it's a so-so kind of whatever movie. And yeah, I mean, I think it's cute. And if you love dogs, you're going to love to see, Buddy in here. But it's kind of just, it's all right. It's okay. And I also know there's so many different Air Bud movies. There's one of them I've seen before when I was really little. And I think it has to do with baseball. I just can't remember exactly. But I looked it up. There's one with baseball, football, volleyball. There's this basketball one, of course. There's so many. There's one called Air Buddies with a bunch of little puppies. There's so many. So, I mean, even though this says 50% on Rotten Tomatoes, obviously something works. But I don't know. What do you think? But that's the end of my video for this week. Thank you guys so much for coming in to watch. If there's something you agree with, disagree with, you want to see how good I did, or you have any movie suggestions of movies I should watch in the future, please leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, do all that. Make sure you tell everybody about my channel. We're coming up on a year of us doing this together. So tell everybody you know so they can join in on the ride. And don't forget to follow me on social media. Kima's Never Seen It on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Kima's Never Seen on Twitter. And last but not least, I want to express my appreciation and gratitude for you guys watching in every week. Even if you watch them late, even if you just got here, you still watch. And I appreciate that so much. But if you did just get here, I have more videos back there. Check them out. Let me know what you think. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. But that's the end of my video, and I will see you guys back here next Thursday. Bye.